Good morning, my lovers. I'm back out in my garden. It's pouring down with, well, it's not pouring down, but the weather's horrible at the moment. So I'm not getting out. But what I'm going to do is, Gary asked, how do I research my fields? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the computer now and I'm going to show you how I do my research. Oh, I just got in time. It's absolutely pouring down now. I managed to squeeze it in between showers. Right, now this is one of the first things I like to do. I found a point on the map and I'm going to zoom in on it. But first of all, it does work in the United States, but it doesn't give the grid reference. It just gives long latitude and longitude and not much else. Because it says UK Grid Reference Finder, so I suppose you might have the similar sort of thing in the States, but it seems to work all right here. Right, so zoom in on it. This is a point I found on Salisbury Plain, which is a big military range. So zoom right in on the location. So it's a farm that I've just randomly picked. So here's the farm. So I've clicked on it, and you right click when you find your location, and it gives you the grid reference. It gives you the smaller grid reference. It gives you that one, whatever X and Y is, latitude and longitude, all that. Gives you the name, the postcode, gives you loads of information. Right. So one of the first things I do is like to copy this grid reference here. Copy. Right, the next site I'd like to go and have a look at, if you do a search for house price LIDAR, and this comes up. Now, it's a map of the UK. This is what the Environment Agency has done so far. They are planning to do the whole of England and Wales. They don't look like they're doing Northern Ireland. That might be on a separate type of thing. But so far, this is what they've done so far. Now, I've copied the grid reference, so if I just go anywhere on the map and click it, and then click that, right, it zooms in on this place here. But what I want is, because I've copied that grid reference up here in the search bar, right, I'll do that again. Right, so I clicked somewhere on the map, and you click on that bit there, and because I've copied the grid reference up here in the search bar, you just put it in there. So right click, paste, and you press enter on the keyboard and jump straight to it. Now, this is a military range. So this is the randomly picked farm on the military range. You know, it's a bombing range. So all these dents, I expect, are artillery shells that the army have been practicing with over the years. So there's all sorts of interesting little lumps and bumps there. Look, very interesting. But you know, you can do interesting things with this one. You can go with the 3D thing, and you get this in 3D when it's decided to do its thing. Oh, there we go. Look. So you can get the farm in 3D, and you can wobble it around and spin it and do all sorts of interesting stuff. And if you click this thing up here, you can get clouds in different the sun in different places going across the sky. Look, see how it shows up these bumps on this side with the sun in a certain direction. And then there's this one, and I think that's the angle of the sun. So if you drop it low, look, it shows things up better. And you move the sun round. Very interesting. I'm sure I could do this in my other program, but I haven't figured that bit out yet. It's a bit complicated. And then we can do this one. Oh, does that work? Ah, shadow. That gives shadow. Yeah. You'd probably be able to pick out things better with it like that than you probably could normally. But yeah, very interesting what you can do with house price LIDAR. Right, but what I tend to like is I like to do my own LIDAR, and I'll show you how I do that. Right, so what you do, this is the DEFRA survey data. Cool. Oh, look at that rain coming down, aren't they? It's piddling down. Right, so I'll put this, paste the, and click search, and bang, it's straight in there. So we're on the location. Right, so zoom out a bit. And what you want to do is over here, this thing is called a polygon. Right, you click on that, and up here somewhere you click, 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 double click here. Right, so you've got the search area. Right, so now you click download, and it starts downloading all the available data for this area. This is how I build my own LIDAR. Eventually it does its thing. Right, so we want what years it gets? 2017, and we want 1 meter. Right, so you click on 1 meter, and then you get these tiles here. Look. So what you want to do, click on all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that downloads it to your computer. And they're quite large files usually. Might take a bit of time. So here you can see the downloads to the file. Now what you want to do is, these are all zip files, so you want to extract them to a file and extract them all into the same file. So all of these go into the same file, right? Right, the next thing you want to do is you want to download this website program. Download. You can get it for all the different Windows, you can get it for Mac, you can get it for Linux, and you just download the program. And I've already done this, obviously, and then when you open it, I'll show you what it looks like inside. Right, so this is what it looks like when you get into the program, and now you want to bring up the file. So here's the file, LIDAR test, and you want to highlight, edit, select all of those files, and you just drag and drop them into the middle bit of the screen here, and then you wait a bit because it takes a bit of time, and it will load all the tiles in this workspace. There we go, there's all the tiles in the workspace. Right, now over on this side, what you want to do is you want to look for merge. So it says recently used. Processing toolbox. I got merge, double click merge. Up here it's got the 3 dots. Select all, OK, and run. Right, so it's now done its thing. There it is, it's all merged. Now we want to go over to here, right click, properties. Up there we want to click to hill shade and click OK. And get rid of that. And you should be able to see, where is it? There's the farm. And you can see all these bumps going around here. So this isn't much different from what you get on house price LIDAR. But now I've uploaded my own LIDAR, made it myself, I can obviously chop and change it. Well, look at those, look, there's some little barrows there, look. And look, you get the exact size of the barrows, look, with the little burial mound in the middle, perfectly circles. So there's obviously stuff going on here. But what I'll do is I'll zoom back out. So this is what you would see on the normal LIDAR with the house price stuff. So you can see stuff going on, but it's not that clear. So what we can do again, we go over to here, properties, and we whop this one up, this one a Z factor. We whop that up to 10 and apply that. OK. Right, so now the sun is in a direction, so you can now tell that this is in a valley, look. So it's shaded. So we go back to there, properties, remove the sun over to this direction, and OK that. Have a quick look. It's not showing much at the moment. Move it to there, apply. No, still not showing much. Now there is a setting on here. What if I put the altitude up to, put the altitude to 55. Apply. And put that back over there. Apply. Okay. Right. So you now got all these different angles. Look at all the bomb craters and the, probably when they were testing bombs and stuff. Now there is another one where you can engage over here. It says slope, right? So you double click that. Run slope. And this won't take very long. At least it didn't do last time. And it should go all, there we go. It's all gone black. So we now go back over to slope, properties. And we want to apply, no, not apply that. Where's it gone? Now we want hill shade again. So apply that. And okay, and now, look. Look at all these lumps and bumps that you couldn't see before. Look, there's loads of stuff going on there. Loads of interesting bumps. See all this disturbance in the ground? So yeah, slope. Look at all these, all this that was not visible before, and it's now visible because it's giving you the light from multiple directions at the same time. So here's the farm. So you can now see a lot more going on. And that's the beauty of this program. So we're, you know, you can see stuff going on in there. As before you couldn't see all this. Now you can. Now we go back to slope properties, and we'll put that up to, try on 5, and we'll put this up to 55. Apply. Okay. Oh, look at it now. Now what this does is it really makes any lumps and bumps really visible. Yeah, look at these lumps and bumps now, look. There's one going up through there and around and up. There's probably lots of little enclosures. See that you can see all this really strong stuff, but as soon as it gets into this field here where it's being ploughed away, look, it's gone, like virtually gone. Look, all those strong marks that it's gone as soon as it gets in there. But because this is on the side of the hill, and this is on the side of the hill in the valley, it's not being ploughed because it's no good for ploughing, so it survives. Right, let's take you on to the next one. Right, this is the next one I'd like to look at for research. Now, most councils around the UK will do this. This one's called the Wiltshire Planning Explorer. So it looks for people who have taken out planning permission, basically. Got a little drop down box here, and one of them says planning application. So if we click that, it should go red. Did it go red? Perhaps I've got to be closer in. Yeah, might have to be closer. Closest. Here we go. It's all gone red. Now all this redness is people that have applied for planning permission. Now I can't remember where my pesky farm is, but it was, I'm sure it was around here somewhere. But doesn't really matter. Is that it there? That might be it there. Right. So you've got this farm coming out, right? One of the things you want to do, because this is in an area of high archaeological evidence and stuff, you want to click on this red thing here, and it will get a little drop down list that will appear. Gives you the name of the farm and all that sort of stuff. And you want to click on application details, right? And then up here it says download plans of documents. You want to click on that, and then you get all these documents related to the planning permission that this person has taken out to get, like, maybe he wants a barn or extension or something built on his land. And it, see this one here, like, it says archaeology. Ooh, archaeology. So we click on the archaeology, Wiltshire Council, blah blah blah, and then excuse me, it will go into details about all the stuff nearby of archaeological interest. You know, this site of archaeological interest, look, it says there are barrows cemeteries, or to the south and the east. So it's giving you much better detail than you can see on maybe a LIDAR map. So it gives you all sorts of interesting information about the locality. And some websites, so if you get then, you've got the name of the farm, like land near something or other farm, right? So you highlight and copy that. And then you can do a search. So I'm going to do a search for, right, put in that, right, so the name of the farm, comma, Wiltshire, full stop, and then you put in archaeological evaluation, the words. So archaeologic, or something like that, evaluation, right? Don't worry about not spelling it right, because it sometimes, there we go, it says archaeological evaluation there. It'll correct the spelling. So then you get, look, something at such and such farm. This strategy doesn't always work, right? But you can look for farms and buildings nearby. So this one here says archaeological evaluation at this farm in the Cotswolds, Land at Manor Farm, right? So that you could then, because some of these planning permissions, you have to go through this process of having an archaeological evaluation. And now sometimes if you scroll all the way to the bottom, sometimes it will give you like a little map showing you of results of the archaeological evaluation. So they put in trenches, and sometimes they'll give you LIDAR, not LIDAR, geophysics reports, and all sorts of very interesting information about your site that you want to go and metal detect, potentially. And then you write all this down, you get all this information, you write it all down, and you go and see the landowner with all this information. So you shove all this in his face before you tell him you're a metal detectorist. Right, so this is just this archaeological evaluation. I just went slightly off on a tangent, but I'll go and show you the next piece of evidence, the next piece of evidence, the next piece of research that I do, continuing onwards. Right, here's the next one. Now this one is a bit more local to where I live, but lots of councils do this thing called the Historical Environment HER record, Historical Environment Record, I think it's called. And basically it shows you everything very historical about where you live. So here's me in South Gloucestershire, but I'm going to go over to Wiltshire for this one. And you click on that and you get a map that comes up. Here's the map that comes up, look. So I've zoomed in on the location of this farm, if I can remember where it was. It's somewhere around here. And what you get is you get this drop down box, like what I do on this one, but various councils have similar looking things all over the country. So you've got to probably just, it's called Historical Environment Record, I think, HER is what it's called, the HER. And you get like all sorts of historical stuff about your area. So here we've got a drop down box. So if I click on monuments, ooh, look at all that lot comes up. You just click on one of these and it'll give you information about what it is. An unnamed, undated field system. Oh great, so not much about that one. Get rid of that. And anyway, if you click on, and then you got monuments points. Oh, not much happened that one. What about lines? Oh, look at that lot. Now, so get rid of the monuments and the other two. Now this one, what this one's showing up is it's showing up crop marks. So all these archaeologists have been scouring the countryside looking for crop marks, and sure enough, all of these crop marks have been popping up. So you got, look, it's just the whole countryside's full of crop marks. It's just a mass of them. This is Salisbury Plain, mind, it's a very historical place. It's where Stonehenge is. You've got Stonehenge on Salisbury Plain. So you get these polygons. Something going on there. Look, if we click on it, what does it say? What does it say? Undated ridge and furrow, probably medieval. There we go. That probably got a few hammers just there. So yeah, all sorts of interesting points. Scheduled monuments, so you can't go detecting on those because that's illegal. So you can't do scheduled monuments. And anyway, and there's another thing this does as well. Is if you at base maps, you click on base maps, you can go right back to the earliest maps that they've got. We get rid of all these lines. No, has it gone? Information, layers. Ah, there it is. Right, unclick that. So now we've got old maps, look. Ancient old maps. Problem is, the further you go back, the least information the maps have got. But look at all these medieval fields, look. Now, if you've ever been to France, you'll know that every house in the village, they all have a little plot of land. Well, I think this stems from the invasion that we had from Normandy. What's his name? 1066, the invasion, where from this point to this point onwards, everybody had a piece of land to go along with their house. So each of these numbers will coincide with a house, possibly in the town or in a village, and each person will have a little strip of land. Now, with these maps here, look, these are really good. Now we go back to base maps, and we go to main map, and there's a little slidey thing over on the side. If it should work, I've got to draw this thing over. Okay, go back to that one, and then we go back to comparison map. You've got to have one or the other. So we got the modern map over and above the old map, and you've got this slidey bar thing that tells you roughly where these places are. Look at it. And I expect if you went out onto the ground, you might actually see where these lumps and bumps are. Now, what I've found when I've been doing fields like these, let's bring it back up. There we go. What I've found by doing fields like these is if you detect the ends of the fields, because when they plough, they're going up and down doing their ploughing, but they congregate at the ends. So you want to metal detect just the ends of the fields. Now there is another way of finding the exact grid reference for these points. Does it show on here latitude and longitude? I don't think it's doing that, which is a bit of a shame. So what we'll do is we'll zoom out. This one's going to be a bit awkward. If I got a modern map that shows it? If I got a modern map that shows these things here. Oh, what's happening? Ah, there it is. That's why. No, let's go back to that one. No, don't show it, look. So it's not showing it on this map. But at one time there was these field systems. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get rid of all this. Hopefully, now, is this a river or a stream? Because if it's a river, that will make life a little bit easier. Yeah, these are roads, look, and these are streams, so rivers. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do something different on Google Earth. I'll show you on Google Earth. We should be able to get the exact grid references for the ends of these fields using a process that I go through on Google Earth. get rid of that. So we zoom back out again. So what we want something to align it to. So that's a river and that's a road, right? We want to align it. There's a bit of a, see, there's a bit of a village here. So we're going to zoom out a bit. You can just about see the plots, the ends of the plots on here. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a print screen. I'm going to save this, crop it, and then save this image. Right, so I've opened Google Earth Pro. It's a slightly different program to normal Google Earth. Ignore these lines. They are Roman roads. These are Roman roads crisscrossing the landscape. You can get those by opening, it says open, see where it says open up here. You can open and install KMZ files. So you go looking around for KMZ files to do with archaeology, and you can open those directly onto the map of Google Earth Pro. Right, but for what we're doing at the moment is we're going to zoom in on this place here, which is where the map of this field system is. So what we want to do is we want to open, so up on the toolbar it says add, and then image overlay. Right, so you want to go and find the picture that I've just cropped. And what you want to do is you want to grab this little slidey bar-y thing and you want to slide it back to about 50%. You don't want to get rid of the picture, you just want to drop it down here. And then what you've got to do is you've got to match up. You've got to match up the village to these old field systems. So let's see if we can find the village. Is that it there? That's it. There it is there, look. Now what you got to do is you've got to match up the roads. See if you can get the roads to match. And of course this is an ancient map and the cartography back then was probably a bit iffy. Ugh, nightmare. So it's around about there. Anyway, you get the idea. See now, this road here, is it that road there, like? Or is it that road that goes through there? Do we want to move that round? Do we want to move that round to about there? Possibly. What you do is anyway. So I'm basically trying to show you. Oh, that probably didn't help. Having it off at an angle. Right, so we've got to find this road. Distinguishing features on this ancient map. Oh no! What's that? Is that a road? Is that the road there? Oh, but anyway, you get the idea, right? So it's a bit. This one's I've bitten off more than I can chew with this map. But what you do is you match it up basically, and you click OK. And then what you can do is you can zoom in on these old field systems here, and you can just about see the ends of the fields, just. Like, so you've got all the ends of the fields. So once you've matched it up, probably best to do it with a newer map than this sort of really ancient map where the cartographer was a bit haphazardly awful with his what they call him spyglass type things for measuring. So you get the ends of the fields and you match it up as much as possible, and I've done a terrible job here. And then you rest your cursor over the end. So let's get rid of that, right? We're okay it. We're okay this. It's not matched up, but you get the idea. And then when you match your cursor over the end, down here it gives you the latitude and longitude, which you can, if you scribble it down on a piece of paper and then tap it into, you scribble out the latitude and longitude, right? And then you go over to here, and where it says latitude and longitude, you then tap that in there, click go, and it will give you the grid reference and the nearest postcode. So then you can then wander off into the field with your GPS machine, or you can get GPS on phones. Get your 10-figure grid reference. There's probably an app on the phone. It will probably show you where to walk to find the exact location of that grid reference. I haven't got one of those highly technical phones. I've got a GPS type device. And then you'll be able to find the exact point of the end of those fields, because they're no longer visible in today's map. You know, it's no longer there on today's map, so you might find it on a much older map. Did I just say that right? Probably not, but you get the idea. So that's one of the things that I can do with Google Earth. Yeah. So yeah, it's probably best to find it like a newer map. Of course, it would be better if this old map, and you can see that doesn't quite match up, does it? Look, oh, look, it's not quite getting there. This road here could be being a bit further over. So it would be nice if there was a double click on here that would give you the exact latitude and longitude of your position. Does that do it? Can I do it? What's that satellite thing? No, it's not doing it, is it? So, you know, I expect in years to come they'll be able to give you an exact grid reference on here. Find an address or postcode. Yeah, it's not happening. So anyway, you'd be able to get the exact place as to where these ends of these fields are in the modern landscape. Yeah, look at them all. There must be a big town nearby. So that's basically how I do my research in a nutshell. Quite complicated, but you know, on horrible rainy days like today is, although I got a gap in the rain, it's worth just looking at your sites and looking for something that might be like really good. There might be something you're missing. So that LIDAR that I do myself is really cracking. Right, cheers!